This episode of Getting to Know the Titanfall is the Pair of Questions episode. Seriously, there's so many of you guys that asked 2 questions in the comments section of my last video, and sometimes they were related, but most of the time they weren't, that I'm going to just make this episode about your pairs of questions. Now, the gameplay in the background is some Titanfall. The first gameplay is a flawless 7-0 last Titan standing, which is a little bit different than the normal attrition that you're used to, but of course, we'll fall back into the normal attrition for the other gameplays, including one on Training Ground, which is my absolute least favorite map in all of Titanfall, but I somehow managed to eke out an 85-point attrition gameplay, so I hope you guys enjoy. Now, let's get into your questions. Chaos Lord David's got a couple of questions to start us off here. If you could bring any musician or musicians back to life, who would they be? Gotta go with Cliff Burton, bassist of Metallica, that died in a car crash after the Master of Puppets album came out. Actually, it was a bus crash. They were on tour in Europe when their bus hit some black ice and flipped over a few times, and he ended up, unfortunately, not surviving. He was integral in shaping Metallica's first 3 albums and part of their 4th, and Justice for All. Those are my favorite albums and by far the most critically acclaimed albums of their career. I couldn't even imagine how much better their music would have been had Burton been around. I mean, it's crazy to think about things like that, right? He put so much of his influence into their music. It's not very often that you find a lot of metal bass players that do finger picking instead of using a pick to, do their right-handed strokes. So he definitely had a different style compared to most metal bass players out there. Second question is, who was your inspiration for music? My favorite guitar players are Dave Mustaine from Megadeth, John Schaefer from Iced Earth, and Jeff Waters from Annihilator, and I'll also throw in there Dimebag Darrell from Pantera. I'm really into metal, but I can't play all that well or that fast for that long. That's why I don't really play much metal. I play more of a harder rock style, but you could definitely hear in some of my riffs like a metal influence. I don't know, I just like how metal sounds ever since I was first introduced to Metallica and Megadeth back when I was like 10 or 11 years old. Churro Bro 98 asks, do you enjoy extremely hot sauces, peppers, salsas such as a ghost pepper or Trinidad Moruga scorpion? Fuck no. Unlike my girls, I do not like my food hot and spicy. I actually went out to eat with my family at the Port Royale Grill in Islip, New York, down on Long Island, which you might recognize because it was a location for a Man vs. Food Challenge episode, which is a callback to last Getting to Know the Titanfall, where I was asked about food TV shows. Anyways, so we were at the restaurant and somebody had ordered some Captain Morgan habanero wings. So it was like, 4 out of 5 in terms of, the little peppers that they show on the menu. Very, very spicy. My brother and my brother-in-law love spicy food. So they were like, we're going to order this shit. We're going to order the Captain Morgan habanero wings. And they're like, oh, this isn't that spicy, actually. Schwantz, you want to try it? And I'm like, sure, I'll give it a try. So I tried it, and it wasn't spicy at all. And this was the 4 out of 5 on their menu. So next, they were like, let's try the 5 out of 5. Let's go with the ghost pepper, chili wings. So I'm like, all right, I will give it a shot. I've heard about how spicy ghost peppers are, so you know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna try this out. Just like the song in Plaza from Black Ops 2. So what they did was they brought out a plate of the wings, and they also had some sauce on the side. So what I did was I went up to the front desk. I took a toothpick from the front desk, dipped one end of the toothpick into the sauce, then I put it on my tongue. Holy shit, I wanted to fucking jump off of a bridge at that point. My mouth was on fire. Like, I felt like my tongue and my teeth melting into my gums. That's how fucking hot this sauce was. And it was only one toothpick full. So I get up, I'm like pounding on the table. I spilt my fucking beer over as I'm trying to reach for it in order to throw it down my fucking throat. Get this hot sauce out of my fucking mouth. So beer gets knocked over. Meanwhile, I'm still like fumigating. The smoke is coming out of my ears. I start grabbing grabbing the tablecloth and start licking it so that I can get this fucking hot sauce off of my tongue. It was a scene, and everybody was pointing at me laughing while out to dinner. So no, fuck no, no hot spicy food for me. Madrid Boy 1986 asked me a couple questions. If you could have any game to be remake, which would it be? Gotta go with Perfect Dark here. I think it would be an epic game. It is getting a remake, which they showed off at E3 this year, but it's going to be a third-person action-adventure game like Uncharted, which is not exactly what I wanted. It was on Xbox Live Arcade on the 360, but I doubt anybody plays it anymore. Oh well, I could just hook up my Nintendo 64 and play it whenever the fuck I want, because I still actually have it. I think that game with updated graphics would be one of the best first-person shooters out there. It was so revolutionary at its time, and it's even sort of revolutionary now. It has guns which have secondary features. So, for example, there would be a rocket launcher, which its secondary feature would be a fly-by-wire rocket, kind of like the TV missiles in Battlefield 4, where you can guide the rocket to wherever it goes. Another gun was called the laptop gun, and it'd be a regular gun, you know, kind of like a P90 with a 50-round magazine, but its secondary feature was you could deploy it on a wall, and it becomes a sentry gun for you. I think a few of it would be overpowered, and I actually did a mock Black Ops 2 multiplayer reveal back, you know, a long time ago, with footage from Perfect Dark, and kind of just took the absolute piss out of how Black Ops 2 was going to be a futuristic game. Hey, maybe I should do the same for Advanced Warfare during its multiplayer review. Fuck, I just let loose all of my plans for future videos, so you heard it here first, folks. But that particular game, I just had so much fun playing. It was the, sequel, I guess, to GoldenEye, which is one of the best FPS games of all time. And you could have bots in multiplayer instead of actually playing against other human beings. So for the times when I didn't have friends over, I'd just play against bots. Second question, have you ever played on a Sony console, or have you always been an Xbox type of guys? I know you had a GameCube, you said, during one of your live stream, but when did you get on the Xbox side, and have you ever wanted to play with your Sony subs? After my GameCube, which I did have, I got an Xbox 360 because I loved Halo 3. Now, during college, one of my roommates had an original Xbox, and we used to play a lot of Halo on it, so of course, I fell in love with the Halo series at that particular time. So that's why I ended up getting an Xbox instead of a Sony, plus most of my in-real-life friends were on an Xbox 360, so I'd much rather game with them than game with abso-fucking-lutely nobody. And then after that, of course, after I discovered Call of Duty 4, I never really touched Halo again most of the time. I never even got Halo 4 or any of the other Halos after Halo 3, actually. But for you Sony guys out there, I don't have that many Sony people that I'm friends with on YouTube. Most of my YouTube buddies are on the Xbox, although that is changing now with the PS4 being so much better than the Xbox One. But I still have really good friends that have an Xbox One, so that's why I decided to go with an Xbox One, and why I'm keeping my Xbox One, despite the fact that I fucking hate the piece of shit. It doesn't function as well as I'd want it to. However, I still really love Titanfall, which is what you're watching in the background. And obviously, it's only on the Xbox One. I don't want to get it on the Xbox 360. It's a neutered version of the game, and I can't play PC FPS right now. So it wouldn't be any fun for me. So that's why I still have the Xbox One. If things change and if more of my buddies get a PS4 or they trade it in, then who knows? Maybe I'll get a PS4 or trade my Xbox One in, because I'm not going to buy both of them. GOVHQ, 2 more questions. What gaming system did you grow up on when you were young? My first gaming console was actually an SNES. I played countless hours on the SNES, and that's when I played with my brother exclusively, and my friends, whenever they would come over, they'd play. My favorite games on the Super Nintendo were RPG games. I loved A Link to the Past, Chrono Trigger, Secret of Mana, Final Fantasy III. Those games were just amazing. I don't like RPGs as much anymore. I'm not really quite sure why. I think it's just because those games back then were so deep and iconic that you can get involved in games like that, whereas nowadays there's many other genres of games that are that deep. But those are my favorite types of games on the SNES. And also I loved, the normal ones, the Mario Karts and all that kind of stuff. Then I had a Nintendo 64 after that with GoldenEye and Mario Kart 64. I used to have my buddies come over in middle school and high school and we used to play hours and hours and hours of GoldenEye till like the sun came up. We'd then go to the bagel store around the corner that was open and have bagels and then pass out at like 5 o'clock in the morning. So that's what I grew up on. And what would it take to be a guest host on the LagCom podcast? I'd love to be a part of it. To be a guest on LCP, we have a long list of names to go through, and we constantly get suggestions from people as to who to try and get on. I've tried to get a few people on unsuccessfully because of scheduling, but since you sponsored a show, I will definitely try and get you on one week soon. We've got a few guests lined up in the next coming weeks, but we'll see how it goes. Lucas Sezolt, I think that's how you pronounce your name, I have no idea. Let me know if I'm pronouncing it correctly, or if not, then link me to a pronunciation of your name. Schwantz, do you play games on PC? I actually just started PC gaming, so add me on Steam, the Schwantz27. I have a Blacklight Retribution low-light video to show you guys what the struggle is like being a PC noob. I also have some TF2 footage, Team Fortress 2 footage that I haven't put out. I'm going to do another PC noob struggle kind of video. I think that might be a series on my channel. I know you guys enjoy seeing me suck at things, and believe me, the transition from controller to keyboard and mouse is not going very smoothly, or rather it is going very smoothly, but it's pretty tough. I just don't have the coordination between my left and right hand at this point on the keyboard and mouse. You guys saw what my stat line was on Blacklight. I was 4 on 137 at one point, but I'm getting much, much better. I actually have cracked the double-digit kills in one of my recent games. I went 10 and 16, which is a huge improvement, but still struggling with the keyboard and mouse. Manny, 75, 586, gives me a scenario. You have a 75 kill, 35 death game on your favorite Call of Duty map. I don't know what my favorite Call of Duty map is. Maybe Standoff from Black Ops 2 or Backlot from Call of Duty 4. Anyway, you die in a substantially similar way each time. Would you prefer to be quickscope where the bullet is 3 feet to the right of your body in the kill cam every time, or be picked off by a head glitching douche canoe, I'll add, with an LMG target finder thermal dual-band optic every time? Definitely prefer being killed by the head glitching douche. At least I know in my heart that I'm a better person than he is. That virgin chose to play a game in a way that's like the Dementors from Harry Potter. They just suck all of the joy out of the game. I don't understand how it's fun to camp in a head glitch spot with a thermal or dual band or tracker sight or, target finder LMG. I cannot stand, however, getting killed by broken shit. Quickscoping is a glitch in the ADS mechanic because Call of Duty is a mod of the Quake 3 engine, and Quake 3 does not have an aim-down sight mechanic. Similarly, the hit detection and registration in some games, Treyarch games, excuse me about that, have a little bit of a cold, make the game almost unplayable sometimes. I cannot stand being killed by bullets that don't actually connect to my fucking body. It drives me up a fucking wall. Nicky Martin, long-lost relative of Livin' La Vida Loca, asks me, if Advanced Warfare does good for this year, how would you feel? I don't think Advanced Warfare is going to do very well. It looks exactly like a game I'm already playing. Titanfall. I mean, I'll give it a try, and I will, get a used copy, try it out for 7 days, just like I did with Ghost, but this time I'm not going to make assumptions for content. Like, for example, I thought I could still do boosting bitches because of Infected, when I could do a chem or no chem type of series, kind of like I do, but Ghost was so bad, and just, there was zero honeymoon phase for it. I never really enjoyed the game. So that's why I stopped playing it. I haven't played the game since late March when they did that DLC for free weekend. I think that was the last time I took more than 45 minutes to play the game. If it does do well, though, it will give me a glimmer of faith in the Call of Duty franchise. But I know deep down inside, Activision is pulling the strings. It's going to be about quantity, not quality anymore. I mean, we already have had a futuristic shooter in Black Ops 2. It just seems like they're running out of steam and running out of ideas. Like, Call of Duty is extremely stale at this point. And I'm more than happy to play Battlefield 4 and Titanfall, along with the PC games I talked about earlier, for the next year or so. Call of Duty is pretty much dead to me at this point. It's going to take a lot of resurrection to bring it back into the fold. I'll still play the older games, but that too gets extremely frustrating because there's all these hacking little shit stains running amok. I played for about 3 hours last night of a combination of MW2 and Call of Duty 4 and Modern Warfare 3, and I didn't run into any hackers, but some of the lobbies, just the connections were complete AIDS, and that's what you get when you have a smaller player base, is that it's much harder to find players that are near your locale and will have a good connection. Every shot counts. Ask me a couple questions. What is your favorite movie of all time? Gotta be The Hangover. I could recite almost every line from that movie, and every time it's on, I must sit down and finish it. It's one of those particular movies. And if I had to live a Call of Duty game in real life, which would it be and why? I wouldn't want to live in any Call of Duty game. War is a horrific thing. I certainly wouldn't want to be a person in the No Russian mission in MW2 and kill all those innocent people in the airport. But, quite frankly, I haven't really played any of the campaigns aside from World at War because it was co-op, and I didn't get very, very far into it. So, to be honest with you, I can't really comment on this. I'll leave it up to you guys in the comments section. Let me know which one you guys would want to actually be a part of. No one cares about KD. Ask me a couple of questions again. What would you do if you woke up tomorrow with $1 million? Well, if I had $1 million, I would buy a 30-second Super Bowl ad to tell people to come check out my YouTube channel, TS27, and then surpass PewDiePie in subs. No, I'm just kidding. I'd save that shit. I mean, I'd pay off my house and my car and any student loan debt that my wife has, but then I'd save the rest of it. $1 million doesn't even cover the cost of retirement anymore. I'd also probably donate some of it to a good charity, something like, wildlife conservation, because I loved Africa so much when I went there. Maybe something like stop poaching, but I wouldn't do anything crazy with it. Second question is, what would you do if you woke up and no one was left on Earth and all you had was a gun, a knife, and your Xbox 360? I wouldn't waste any time. I'd just fucking kill myself. I wouldn't want to be the last person alive. Not even an Xbox 360 with unlimited games at my disposal would keep my will to stay alive. I don't want to have to fend for myself and shit. I mean, I could do it. I just don't really want to. Sergeant J asks me a very, very deep question. If you had the world at your disposal, what would you do to mark your name in history? I would carve out a country called Swansea-land, and I would invite any of the progressive forward thinkers to come and be a part of Swansea-land. I wouldn't want to have, any ignorant fucking opinions of people that would be, in my country. I would not allow religion in my country. I know that ignorance is bliss, but it also destroys people's way of life. I don't know if I want to rule this country because I don't want that responsibility. I mean, for fuck's sake, I live in a townhouse. I don't even want to have the responsibility of cutting my own grass. But I would just want to eliminate the anchors that hold us back. Not all opinions are created equal, and if you don't have evidence to back your claims, then you shouldn't be taken seriously. But I do think Swansea-land would be an excellent experiment in utopia, and I try and see if my ideas on how to, govern things and how to rule a country would actually work. Because believe it or not, I think that I could do better than these fuckwits in Washington. Lastly, Samuel for life, laugh my ass off. Why are you the absolute best commentator I watch? Well, I think it's because I like to bring variety to my channel. I hope that all of my series are entertaining because I love watching my own videos back. And for all you newbies out there that are just starting a YouTube channel, that is the most important thing. Are your own videos entertaining to watch? Because if you can't even watch your own videos, then why would you expect us to watch them? But I'd like to think that having multiple different series and ideas on my channel keep it fresh so that people don't get tired of my routine, because some people can get extremely stale on YouTube, and that's when channels start to die. And hopefully I don't have that particular stigma associated with me. But of course, as always, I enjoy constructive criticism, not this video sucks, you should should quit YouTube and also kill yourself. That's not constructive criticism. I can't fucking do anything with that. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode of Getting to Know the Schwantz 27. And just like a CB radio, I'm over and out. Until next time.